So what about that? Republican Congressman Brad Wenstrup of Ohio was in Seattle, Washington this morning. Brad's also a doctor, but currently on 2-week reserve for the Army. He serves the U.S. military as well, and good morning to you. What do you think about a third of the law will not be on time?
Well, it's just showing us the dichotomy that exists within this law and the unfairness of the law. And we're seeing the struggles that people are having, businesses are having. We want equality under the law. We want there to be a balance of power within the United States where the administration is not able to just say, you're off the hook, you're on the hook. This is unfair, and it's starting to show up day to day.
You know, I want to get to this whole topic about, you know, the subsidies granted to members of Congress and their staff as well. But there's another report that shows fewer than 3% of all U.S. federal workers want to give up their current plans and to join the exchanges. Now, what does that tell us?
Well, that tells us that that's not the best deal. You know, we want to have the same thing that the American people have. That's how it's supposed to work. You know, I consider going to Congress a service, not a privilege. That's how it's supposed to be. We need to be equal under the law. That's the point we're trying to make with our website, nospecialpass.com, where we want people to sign a petition saying you're against special favors and special passes for Congress.
All right, so nospecialpath.com is something you started, I think it was about a week ago, I believe. I was on the site earlier today. And that is in regard, that's relevant to the subsidies of Congress and their committee aides. Now, how are you going to handle that? You going to take the subsidies? What are your staff members going to do?
Well, you know, I have very hard-working staff. They are public servants. They work for the taxpayers. And whatever the law is, so be it. And we will deal with it. We'll do the same thing that businesses have to do, and that's deal with the law. But it's very disturbing that there's special favors for different groups and waivers for different groups, and that's the complaint that we have. This is not what our founders had in mind.
All right, well, so, you know, the rule of law, I mean, Congress passed this thing. What do? They just come in later and change it when they want? I mean, explain to our viewers how in the world this works.
Well, that's the big complaint that I have. I mean, I'm a freshman congressman, and I ran because I didn't like how things were. And as I said before, you're not in Congress to be there on privilege. You're there because you want to serve. And when you write a law, you live with that law. And if you don't like it, then repeal it. And that's what we've been trying to do, is repeal Obamacare entirely and start over with patient-centered solutions. I'm a physician. I see what's coming. There'll be a delay in access to care. There are all types of problems. It's fraught with complications, and it's starting to show up. And it's things that we've been talking about for 3 years, and now the American people are starting to feel the unfairness of it and the pain of it.
Take it at the macro level here, because there are members of your staff that will have to cough up a lot of money if they don't take the subsidies from the government that were granted a week ago. Now, how are you going to deal with that? What kind of conversations have you had with them?
The conversations we've had is that they understand that we want to rule law in America, and they'd like to see Obamacare repealed. But at the same time, whatever we're dealt with, we'll deal with, so be it. We have done it before. We've taken budget cuts. We'll manage one way or the other to try and make things work. But there is the possibility of a brain drain within D.C., and that's what others are concerned about. But they wrote the law, and now they have to live with it or change it. And that's what I encourage them to do, repeal this law so we can get back to regular order.
And we'll see where this online survey goes to. Brad Wenstrup, thank you for your time up earlier in Seattle, Washington with us today. Thank you, sir.